HeroQuest enthusiasts, we're jumping in here with some lore. We've been exploring some of the tactica from the perspective of controlling the monsters and, of course, the various heroes and Dungeoneering 101. But HeroQuest is about the narrative. HeroQuest is about immersing yourself in the quest, in the story, in the dungeons. And as a game system, it does this really, really well because you can layer on as much narrative, as much RPG as you want, and you can also balance that out with just a good old-fashioned dungeon crawl against monsters, treasure, might, and magic. Now, this is something that I've been wondering about for a number of years, and I had recently seen a theory that a friend put forward, and I was like, yes, I wonder about that. Is there a hidden meaning in this, right? We look for this idea of hidden meanings in the narrative. So in the current edition of HeroQuest, and I say current because we had the original, or do we call it classic HeroQuest at this point? We had the US version. We had the European version. Slight differences with the names there. And now the current edition of HeroQuest, the standard HeroQuest. That's what I'm looking at. But we started to see this with the original, with the classic HeroQuest. So we have Mentor, the good wizard, the heroes, the kingdom. Then we have Zargon, the evil wizard. And in that narrative, it talks about that Zargon was an apprentice of Mentor, and of course, the usual, he goes rogue and wants power, and he's in his hidden mountain, and he's looking to undermine the king. And that serves as a generalized plot, not only as the player/overlord controlling the monsters, running the story, running the quests, but it explains these other various expansion packs and entries into the game of what's going on. Essentially, like 3D chess, Mentor, Zargon, heroes, monsters going at each other. So when you're playing HeroQuest, you've got the player screen set up so they can't see what's going on. It's got that handy reference. I like to put the monsters behind there. I like to pull out all the monsters before the quest, set them all up, because certainly we're only going to use specific monsters for the various quests, but by having them all there, I think that encourages some role play, that encourages a little bit of narrative, because the quests do a good job just in that short intro paragraph, right? Letting you know kind of what to expect. No spoilers here, but if it talks about an orc warlord in a crypt, you kind of know that, okay, there's probably going to be a couple of undead, a mummy, maybe as a boss, some skeletons. Mummies are tougher than you think. I have to say that. Every time I deploy them or fight them, I am always surprised. There's a huge jump between kind of the different classes of undead, going from that to mummies. And then, of course, you have the narrative of the story, which would be, you've got orcs. You know there's going to be orcs, and if they're orc raiders, there's probably going to be a war boss who might have slightly elevated stats. So you get this idea. I like to pull all the miniatures in, so this way the players don't see me grabbing and pulling them out of the box and putting them out and getting that idea. But back to the narrative, looking at this screen, I always thought it was Zargon on there, kind of pushing the gargoyle forward and pushing the monsters forward against the heroes. It kind of makes sense because, well, Zargon's sitting behind there, and, well, you're Zargon sitting behind there, pushing that forward. Well, apparently I was incorrect. And this kind of leads to the theory that a friend put forward. Apparently that's Mentor, because he's got the Book of Knowledge. He's got the braided beard. In the updated book of rules for HeroQuest, it's got him on the back. It's got him in there. And we're like, why is Mentor like unleashing the monsters on the heroes? What's kind of up with that? I always thought that was Zargon. And the interesting theory was this. What if Mentor and Zargon are like exactly the same? What if they're like playing each other against each other? They're playing two sides of the realm to eventually just take over, because the Book of Knowledge that he has, which is the quest book of all the quests in the narrative, what if that's corrupted him and he's working both angles? What if he's the same? Now, is that some sort of conspiracy theory, or just the artwork was one thing and it wasn't changed and it's just how it worked out? But that still puzzles me, and it always puzzled me. I thought that was Zargon. But if it's Mentor, why is he throwing the monsters at the party? Why is he commanding them? He's certainly not restraining them. Your thoughts on that? And out of curiosity, I have to go look. Do we have an official? This might be in the non-US version. Do we have an official non-Zargon, Morcar type picture? Do we know what this guy even looks like being an apprentice of Mentor?